Man, I'm telling you guys, this world's just getting crazier and crazier. And I mean, as much as we hated the mean tweets, during the last administration, we had no new wars. Like, just want you guys to really understand this. We had no new wars. In fact, we had multiple peace deals that were done in the Middle East. And now, not only are we dealing with the Ukraine Russia war, you're dealing with the possibility of China invading Taiwan. Now, you got Hamas unloading thousands upon thousands of rockets trying to overdo the Iron Dome in Israel, and then having paragliders coming through. I mean, it's just, this is absolutely insane, killing civilians. They're not, like, guys, I mean, as much as you might feel for the Palestinian people, the people that are controlling that population are terrorists. Hamas is a terrorist organization, and they are killing civilians. Civilians. They're not going after just military targets. They're not just trying to kill military personnel. They are going after civilians, and when you go after civilians, whatever you're fighting for, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. When you start actually going after the civilians, you lose all credibility, guys. You lose it all. So we're going to go into this thing. We're really going to try to get to the details of what the hell's going on. We even got freaking Mia Khalifa, former porn star, former this, and that, coming out in support of Hamas, which is absolutely insane. Like, you can speak, you can be in support of the Palestinian people and pray for the Palestinian people that they can get through this, but you're supporting Hamas. You're supporting the killing of civilian citizens. I don't care what country it is. Like, I don't care. Like, even with China, I don't like the government of China. I actually despise it. Same thing with Russia. But the people are a different story. So when you start attacking the people itself and not just militant targets, you're losing the plot. You're losing any support from the middle ground that you could have gotten. Okay, so we're going to go into it, guys, but welcome to Getting to the Facts. Happy Tuesday. I hope your week's starting off on a good note, guys. So, again, let's smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we're going to hop right into it, all right? But we got this here from ABC News. Horrors emerge from Hamas infiltration of Israel on Gaza border. Indiscriminate killing, kidnappings, homes raided, and a musical festival under attack. More than 900 Israelis have been killed as a result of the most devastating assault on Israel since the Yom Kippur War of 1973. Hamas militants broke through the fences surrounding Gaza on Saturday morning, attacking Israeli soil by land, sea, and air, using mechanized hang gliders and motorbikes to storm communities caught completely unaware. They came through the streets on pickup trucks with turrets on the back, spraying bullets, everything around them at the civilians walking up and down the street. Major Doran Spielman, a spokesperson for the Israel Defense Forces in the city of Esterat, which was overwhelmed by Hamas and subsequently liberated, told ABC News' Ian Pinnell. Women with little babies, people dying on the ground. Hamas fired at least 3,000 rockets from Gaza into Israel, targeting towns and cities in southern Israel. And guys, to get a little more context into this, Hamas doesn't have military bases, okay? They're set up in Gaza. Okay, and they're trying to say this is like an open air prison. No. They've put a fence and a border around the border of where Israel is. It's not like they can't get out of Gaza. They can go back towards the Palestine territory, but it's not like we got them trapped in this little circle. Okay, they have over 2 point something million Palestinians that live in Gaza. All right, guys. So, and the fact is that Hamas is setting up all of their military stuff, where the rockets are getting shot from, all this stuff. It's set up in public areas because they are trying to make it seem like, oh, if we make an attack on Israel and they attack us and they're trying to go after our military stuff, they have to hit a civilian target. But is it really a civilian target if you got thousands upon thousands of rockets in civilian territory? I mean, guys, again, they're just trying to set it up to where it's making Israel, it is making them attack civilian targets to get to Hamas. Okay? This should not I'm surprised this has gone on as long as it has. They need to take Hamas out. That this is honestly, Hamas is the one that is holding back the people of Palestine. They're the ones that are causing this type of stuff to happen to the civilians in Palestine. I mean, guys, this is just unbelievable when you really look at it. And if you're in support of Palestine, you can be in support of Palestine, but not in support of Hamas. That is completely different, guys. It's completely different, and we need to realize that. Hamas goes after civilian targets. Okay? Any government structure that is actively, their main goal is to cause as much casualties as possible and not caring if it's a military target or not, they are not the good guys in the situation. Okay? They're just not. They're just not. I mean, at the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to. Like, if Hamas was going in there attacking military targets, trying to liberate people in Israel of whatever, and have them escape, or vice versa, like, okay, then you have an argument. But they're not doing that. They're killing and raping Israeli citizens. I mean, guys, this is not a good militant group. Okay, like, it's just not. But we're going to keep going on here, guys. The majority of the rockets were intercepted by Israel's Iron Dome missile defense system, but what is considered to be a major intelligence failure by the Israeli authorities saw Hamas storm swaths of territory in Israel's south. In the skies above the Supernova Festival taking place near the kibbutz of Re'im, approximately 3 miles of the Gaza border, those rockets were the first sign of what was to come. At least 260 people were killed there, according to the Israeli authorities, with video emerging of Israelis fleeing on foot across the desert and some being kidnapped and taken back to Gaza. One of those attendees, Noah Manket, said that those who tried to flee in their cars were shot by Hamas gunmen. She fled on foot and is yet to hear from some of her closest friends who attended the festival with her. You just keep running because you realize that if you don't keep running, then you don't get back home. Guys, the people in the United States have never experienced something like that. We haven't gotten attacked on United States soil since Pearl Harbor. I mean, we can obviously take into account 9/11, okay? But I mean, like, really attacked. Pearl Harbor was our biggest attack. That we really know from another militant group. Yeah, was it a terrorist killing that happened when it came to 9/11? Yes, it definitely was. And we definitely don't want to, not acknowledge that. But when it comes to something crazy, like this is just so nuts, guys. I mean, this war between Israel and Palestine has gone on for hundreds and hundreds of years. Okay? Hundreds of years. And it's like, does the chicken or the egg come first? I don't know, guys. I mean, I really don't. You really have to dig deep into this conflict to see where it all started. But it started before Israel was even a country. Okay? It started way before Israel was even a country. And you don't see Israel going after Palestinian people like this. You don't see them going after Palestinian civilians. They're always trying to go after Hamas and going after the militant groups that are attacking Israel and that threaten Israel and say death to Israel, death to the West. They say it all the time. So, I mean, we just really got to be smart about what the hell, is going on and what we're seeing here. But let's take a little deeper look, guys. Who controls Gaza? Hamas, the political wing of Hamas, has controlled Gaza since 2007. It was founded by a Palestinian activist connected to the Muslim Brotherhood, a transnational Islamist organization with ties to Egypt. Iran provides Hamas with financial, material, and logistical support. And real quick, let's find this out. Did U.S. give billions to Iran? Iran prisoner swap for $6 billion in spotlight of Hamas attacks Israel. The U.S. freed $6 billion in Iranian money. Did it help fund Hamas? We might not ever know, guys. We might not ever know. But knowing that Iran funds Hamas, they fund Hamas. And is it just a coincidence that less than a week after that $6 billion in funds got unfreezed by the United States, this happens? I mean, thousands of pounds, thousands of rockets. You got paragliders. You got all this stuff coming down. It's nuts, guys. And Israel is not having it. Israel is not having it. And honestly, I personally feel for the Palestinian civilians because they are about to get hell unleashed upon them because of Hamas. Hamas is going to be getting hit, yes, but the majority of the casualties are going to be civilians because of how Hamas has all of their logistics set up. It's all set up within civilian buildings, guys. They've done this on purpose, so it makes Israel have to hit civilians. And I think this attack by Hamas has pissed off Israel so much. I mean, this is the biggest loss of life that Israel's seen between the two sides since 1973. This has pissed them off so much. They are going to level Gaza. They are going to absolutely level Gaza. And I feel for the Palestinian people there. I really do. But do I think that Israel has the right to defend themselves? And do I think they have the right to retaliate? I think they do, guys. I think they do. They didn't just go after military targets. They killed and raped civilians up and down the street in Israel. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy, guys. So we're going to continue here on Reuters. Israel pulverizes Gaza after Hamas attack as it collects its dead. Israeli airstrikes hammered Gaza on Tuesday, razing entire districts and filling morgues with dead Palestinians as Israel took revenge for the Hamas assaults that have triggered some of the world's worst bloodletting in 75 years of conflict. Across the barrier wall enclosing the coastal enclave, Israeli soldiers collected the last of Israel's dead 4 days after Hamas gunmen rampaged through towns, killing hundreds of people in deadliest Palestinian militant attack in Israel's history. Hamas militants holding Israeli soldiers and civilians hostage had threatened to execute a captive for each home in Gaza hit, but as night fell on Tuesday, there was no indication they had done so. But Israel's defense minister said its forces were gearing up for a ground offensive. Guys, Hamas can threaten to kill a hostage for every home that's hit by an airstrike from Israel. You have murdered and raped thousands of Israelis. I mean, thousands of Israelis are dead. Hundreds were raped, at least. Okay? They're still not done counting all of the dead for Israel. Just Israel. Okay? You are not going to get them to stop hitting you if you're going to kill a hostage. You already killed thousands of people. No, we are going to level you. That is their thinking on that. Okay? Not saying it's right or wrong, but is it justified? Depending on who you talk to, it is. They did not go after militant groups. They went after civilians in the street. They were at a freaking music festival. And then on top of that, we have at least, that's confirmed, we have at least 11 to 15 American citizens that are held hostage. And there's another 10 to 12 that have already died in this. Okay, guys? I mean, it's just... This is not about liberating Palestinians. Like, it's not about that. It wasn't about that. They wanted to hurt Israel. And in return, Israel is going to level Gaza, whether you like it or not. And could this have been avoided? Could all of the bloodshed on the Palestinian side could have been avoided? Yeah. Hamas did not need to do this. And if they did do this, they should have just hit military targets, tried to hit just military targets. They actively went after civilians, and that is something that is irreprehensible. It really is. It just really is, guys. So we're going to see this little video here, too, that we have just kind of going through the details a little bit of what's going on, show a little bit of the bombing of what's going on in Israel. because it's just a little insane. All right, so we're gonna take a look at this.
Middle East, where fighting is intensifying between Israel and Hamas. At least 11 Americans are dead and other Americans still missing. At this hour, the Palestinian militant group is now threatening to kill hostages. They say one for every new civilian home bombed without warning. Jay Gray has a closer look now at the conflict and the growing U.S. response.
Unrelenting airstrikes, Israeli ministers ordering a complete siege of the Gaza Strip in the wake of a weekend surprise offensive by Hamas, the deadliest attack on Israel in 50 years.
Hamas is Daesh.
Hamas is the ISIS, and we will beat it just like the Western world has beaten ISIS.
A spokesman for the military wing of the Palestinian militant group now issuing this threat. Every hour, Hamas will kill one Israeli hostage for every civilian house bombed without warning. More than 1,200 have died in the fighting, a vast majority of the victims civilians. The State Department confirming Americans are among the casualties, with other U.S. citizens in the region still missing.
There are reports of Americans who are unaccounted for. We continue to work to confirm that number and to try to locate those who are missing.
As the fighting escalates,
I am on constant communication with President Biden.
the U.S. carrier strike group is now moving into the region.
We will continue to get Israel the military aid and military assistance it needs.
Though a full-scale response likely won't come until Congress is back in session and a speaker is elected in the House. The man just voted out of that job, demanding swift action from the White House to protect U.S. citizens caught up in the violence.
This administration must also make clear that harming any American will result in the wrath of the United States.
As thousands of miles away, the fighting intensifies. Jay Gray, NBC News.
Meantime, Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs is speaking out against those attacks. She posted on X, formerly known as Twitter, saying, "I condemn the horrific terrorist attack on Israel by Hamas. Arizona stands with the people of Israel and supports their right to self-defense. My heart breaks for the families of those who have been killed, injured, or..."
I mean, guys, it's just absolutely nuts when you see what's going on. It is absolutely crazy just seeing exactly what is going on here. I mean, civilians are just getting murdered when they were at a music festival promoting peace, and they get just like militant groups flying in on parachutes over their head, freaking rockets getting blasted everywhere. I mean, it is just absolutely insane, guys. It's in 2023. This is still going on. That's why I'm saying people in the United States, we are so lucky and privileged. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, yellow, purple, really don't freaking matter. If you live in the United States, you are privileged as hell to not have to go through this and not have to worry about another airstrike that might come through. You never know when Hamas and Israel are going to go at it again. I mean, just that way of living is just absolutely insane. And again, guys, you can feel for the Palestinian people like I do. I feel for them. I feel for them because they didn't ask for this. They didn't ask for Hamas to be able to be doing all this. They just want to live in peace. At least from what I know. Unless you can show me that the majority of Palestinians wanted this. They actually wanted this. Then you asked for it. But I don't think that's the case. Okay? Most civilians, no matter what country you live in, they just want to be left alone to live their life, make the money that is required to pay the bills and just live a life with their family and build family and build community. This is just, it's unnecessary. And Hamas did not need to attack Israel the way they did. And because of the ruthlessness that they did on attacking Israel, they didn't just attack Israel. They attacked the citizens that can't protect themselves, guys. That is why they are going to get leveled by Israel. They are going to get leveled because of that. Just because of the ruthlessness of how they went about doing this. Instead of just attacking military targets, which they would have still got hit with some airstrikes, but would they come to an agreement on a ceasefire if they just attacked military targets? Yeah, they probably would. I would guarantee they probably would. But they went after civilians, and that's just something that no country can ever be okay with and allow. You can't allow it. And again, guys, like, would this happen? Would we have militant groups parachuting into the United States to try to attack us while trying to hit thousands upon thousands of rockets at the United States? Hell no. And you know why? Because we have more guns in the United States than we do people. Okay? Like, we have way too many guns in the regular civilians' hands that they will never do something like that. And that is so beautiful. And that is another reason why we have to protect the Second Amendment, guys. We have to protect our right to bear arms, because I don't care if it's our own government that's gotten too strong and coming after the people. I don't care if it's a foreign militant group that's trying to come in and overtake the United States. We are better off as American citizens if we have the ability to be armed and have weapons and have firearms. We are so much better. Okay? Yes, are there crazy people that can get a gun? Yes. But that crazy person with a gun can't do crap if there's more good people with guns that aren't afraid to have their guns than the bad people that are just able to have guns and the good people can't. I'm telling you, this is exactly why. I guarantee you Hamas wouldn't have been able to parachute people in like that if everyone in Israel was even able to have guns. Guarantee you that wouldn't happen. Guarantee you. All right. So it's just crazy, guys. And we're going to watch this little clip here too of Mia Khalifa, former porn star or whatever the hell, making some crazy comments. She got canceled by her podcast. The person that owns the podcast production company that she works for, they canceled her. They fired her. She got fired from Playboy, from all this stuff. And I'm against cancellation. I don't think anybody should get canceled for their beliefs. So I personally don't think she should have been canceled. But it's not like she got canceled from YouTube. Like, she got canceled from the production company that hosts her podcast, that's putting the money up to front her podcast, the marketing, just the budget for the whole setup, just everything, right? That's who fired her. So it's not really cancellation. It's not like all the social media places just all of a sudden banned her accounts. Okay? Playboy is allowed to fire her. These companies are allowed to fire you if what you say goes against what they believe as a company. I believe that is completely the case. So that's why I don't think this is a cancellation. But she's just dumb in what she said here. I mean, really, really dumb. And I think she's Palestinian too. But again, you can be for the people of Palestine and tell everybody that what Hamas did was absolutely in the wrong and needs to be condemned to the fullest. So we're going to see what this was here.
For everyone arguing that all of this started because of Hamas, Hamas didn't exist until 1987, 20 years after the apartheid started, 20 years after the occupation. Hamas was born within the occupation as a means of resistance. That statistic alone should tell you everything you need to know about the quality of life in these refugee camps. 42% of the population is under 15 years old. What does that say about life expectancy? What does that say about quality of life? What does that tell you about everything that's happening there? Israel has only been a state since 1948. Palestine is thousands of years old. It is one of the oldest sites in history. It's one of the oldest groups of people in history, and we are watching the genocide of them happen before our eyes.
Come down and like just party for Christianity. You won't believe it. Everyone loves Christianity. There's so many people in town singing conference there, kid rocks there, like this crazy just about hockey players. And Gretzky said he actually remembered radio guy.
Speculation is it happens.
From breaking news, detailed analysis, in-depth interviews, and explainers. Follow the Times of...
I mean, guys, it's absolutely crazy. Her comments are just absolutely asinine. Did you see that one where she actually put in her Twitter thing or X post that she did, where she said, "Hey, tell the freedom fighters, aka Hamas militants that are raping civilians, to turn the angle horizontal." Guys, this girl comes from so much privilege. Okay, she got famous for getting dick down the entire time. Sorry for my crude language there, but this lady is just absolutely insane. And honestly, I do not blame anybody for firing her. Okay, she didn't get canceled by YouTube. She didn't get canceled by Twitter. She didn't get canceled by Instagram. She just got fired from companies that don't agree with any of the rhetoric that she just espoused right there. Okay, and one more time, we can feel for the Palestinian civilians, for the people of Palestine, because they don't deserve this. They don't deserve this. But Hamas, the militant group who has controlled Gaza since 2007, have made it impossible for Palestinian civilians to escape the harshness of what Israel is going to bring down on Gaza and has been bringing down on Gaza since this happened. So again, guys, we just got to be aware of what's going on, because this is the start of World War III. I mean, we have so many. We went from the last administration not starting any new wars. Okay, we said we were going to get out of Afghanistan in a good manner, not the way we did. We just set a timeline for when we were going to get out. They messed that up. We had multiple peace deals done in the Middle East. We had pretty good relations in the Middle East, guys. There was no craziness going on with Israel and Hamas during the last administration. Now we're in the middle of the Ukraine-Russia war. China's about to take over Taiwan soon, and we have the deadliest conflict between Israel and Palestine since 1983, Yom Kippur. I mean, there can only be so many different avenues of conflict before this turns into a world conflict, and we can't fight wars on 5 different fronts. We don't have the capability right now, especially for how much we depleted our military equipment, giving it all to freaking Ukraine. Okay? Like, it's just absolutely nuts, guys. So we got to pay attention to it. We got to elect the right people. And I'm not saying left or right. I'm saying get the establishment politicians out, because establishment politicians on the left and right are the ones that are wanting this war to continue. They are wanting us to get into the fray with Israel, with Hamas, on top of the Ukraine-Russia stuff. We've already given billions, hundreds and billions of dollars to Ukraine. We can't keep doing the same thing to Israel. Israel can fight its own war. We've supplied Israel with enough technological capabilities, enough logistical capabilities, military capabilities. I mean, guys, they are set. We can give them some guidance, but we don't need to do nothing else. They got enough. We help fund their Iron Dome. So I think they're fine there. But we really just got to get smart on who we elect, guys. And we need to stop this conflict. We need to get out of conflict. We need to be worried about the United States for a little bit. We try to be the world police for so long, to where we're just letting our own country go to shit. We're letting our own infrastructure go to shit. We're just allowing all this bull crap to go on in our own country because we care more about being the world police. And we can't do both right now. We can't. The war that we're fighting, the culture war that we're fighting in the United States, is something that's more needed than anything else right now, at least for us Americans. Okay. And our allies, we're here for you, but we need to take care of ourselves first and foremost. Okay, but I hope you guys like the content today, guys. I hope you guys got some good facts out of this and really saw some things that you might not have seen just based on the headlines. So again, thanks for hanging with me, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. I'll see you on that next video.
Yeah.